Hey guys, it's Trickton with Trickton Gaming, and today we are diving deep into Helldivers 2, specifically how to survive the Terminid faction. We're going full breakdown, from how to handle every bug you will face, to how to close the biggest and baddest bug nests out there. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video, as I will show you 3 loadouts built specifically around everything we will cover in this video. Because if you've ever dropped into a bug mission and felt like the bugs just won that mission, this video is for you. Before we jump into it, if you have any Helldiver 2 Terminid tips, drop them in the comments below so we can keep a running log. Alright, now let's get into it. The first thing you need to understand about surviving the Terminid faction is target prioritization. It's not about being the best shooter in the squad, it's about knowing which bug you can run towards and which bug you should run from. Seriously, understanding which bugs to prioritize can be the difference between a chaotically overwhelming extraction and an absolutely peaceful one. So let's break them down. Terminids have 3 different classifications of bugs: light, medium, and heavy. Light bugs are small, fast, and honestly pretty manageable on their own. Just about any primary weapon can dispatch them. The problem? They don't come alone. When light bugs appear in large groups, they will overwhelm you. If you let them surround you, it's game over. The move here is to keep kiting, create distance, and stay mobile. Chip away at their numbers while you keep moving. Now, within the light category, you have Scavangers, Bile Spitters, and Pouncers. These bugs are easy to dispatch with any gun. However, because they can call in bug breaches, they should be a priority. Hunters? Hunters look harmless until they don't. These guys are stealthy. They leap long distances, and once they get close enough, they'll use their tongues to slow you down and let the rest of the swarm catch up. So if you're feeling kinda sluggish, check for a hunter. Shriekers. Shriekers are your flying nuisances. You'll find them around the large mushroom-shaped shrieker nests. They use a swooping dive attack that's very annoying. However, you can just lay down to avoid being attacked. To easily dispatch Shriekers, catch them as they reposition for their next dive. That's your window. Warriors. Warriors come in 3 different flavors: Original, Bile, and Alpha. Any light or medium weapon will handle them, but there are 2 things to keep in mind. The Bile Warrior explodes on death, so give it some space. And the Alpha Warrior? Well, the Alpha Warrior only spawns from commanders, which we'll cover in a second. And then there's Hiveguards. Hiveguards use their thick head and arm plating to shield the other bugs around it, so don't waste shooting ammo on the front. Aim for the back and the sides, that's where they're soft. Before we move on, light bugs are pretty straightforward. Just handle them with any weapon, just don't ignore them, because light bugs can call in bug breaches, so keep your head on a swivel. Alright, now that we've handled the small stuff, let's talk about the bugs that actually demand your attention: medium bugs. Let's get to it. First up, we have Bile and Nursing Spewers. These are basically giant bile-filled balloons, but don't be fooled. You would think that these large balloons on their back would be the best way to kill these, but nope. A few shots to the front ends these easily. The key difference here between these 2 bugs is the Nursing Spewer hits you up close in a wide spread, while the Bile Spewer launches long-range mortars. Be sure to know which one you're facing before you close the distance. Alpha and Brude commanders. They are the field commanders of any Terminid swarm. They coordinate smaller bugs, which means they're always a high-value target, so take them out early. Commanders have a charge attack that will close the distance on you. And the counter's simple: dive to either side and try and keep them at a medium range while you aim for the head and the limbs. And here's something most divers don't know. If you take off a commander's head, the body will keep doing whatever it's doing, so if it was charging when you took off the head, it's still charging. Don't celebrate too early. Speaking of charging, up next we have Chargers. These, like Warriors, come in Original, Spore, and Behemoth. And the key to all of them is keeping your distance and using your mobility to your advantage. Keep in mind, the Spore Charger specifically produces a thick fog around it. When it dies, the air will get clearer. And now we have the most important and most deadly bug on this entire list, the Stalker. Stalkers are the bug you never see coming, literally. They can go partly invisible and close the distance on you without warning. When they hit you, they'll kick you across the map. The best counter I've found is Fire and the P92 Warrant. Both of these weapons make it easy to see Stalkers when they are invisible. Also, it's critical. When you see a Stalker, there is likely a secondary objective nearby, a Stalker nest. Destroy the nest will cut off their supply. Once we understand heavies are where missions can go sideways, I will show you how to dominate the biggest bug nests. Now, let's get into the real threats. Heavy bugs require dedicated firepower, and they will end your mission if your squad isn't prepared, so listen up. First up, we have Impalers. These may just look like oversized chargers, but instead of charging at you, they will tunnel their limbs underground and attack you from a distance. When an Impaler starts tunneling, watch for the soft spot that opens on the back of their neck. A thermite or explosive spot on that will dispatch it quickly. Bile Titans are exactly what they sound like, a bile spewer that had never stopped growing. The soft underbelly is vulnerable to incendiary or explosive damage, but here's your warning. Once you destroy the bile sac, it will enrage and it'll start stomping everything around it. So you're asking yourself, when should you strike? The answer? When it charges up to spit bile, it pauses for about 2 seconds. That's your shot. Face or underbelly, those are your options. Now, Dragonroaches. They take the fight into the air. Large flying bugs with wide bile attacks that cover massive ground. With these, target the wings. Those are critical for keeping it airborne. And just like the Bile Titan, it pauses just before spitting. So use that pause to attack. That's your window. And I saved the biggest for last. The Hivelord. When you see a Hivelord on the field, your squad needs to be ready. These things tunnel underground, causing tremors. And when they surface, they're either covering a very large area in bile or using their sheer size to crush Helldivers. To take one down, break the plates on its body first, then hit the exposed soft underbelly underneath. And if you can time it right with a 500 kilo bomb, satisfying. Before we get to bug nests, there are a few important bug strains you should know. Currently, there are 3 different sub-factions of strains. Predator strain, which currently only affects hunters and stalkers. This causes increased bug intelligence and discoloration. You'll also see increase in stalker layers, so be ready. The Spore burst strain is currently composed of Scavangers, Warriors, Hunters, and Bile Titans. It is good to know that these bugs explode on termination, so it's best to keep these bugs at a distance when handling them. And Rupture Strain. Rupture Strain terminids burrow underground to close the distance on you and ambush you from below. Currently, this only affects Warriors, Spewers, and Chargers. When you see the dust moving above the ground, that's the indication of a bug is burrowing below the surface. Keep in mind, these bugs still take damage from explosive, fire, and gas, so any one of these will bring them out. When it comes to spawning bugs into the map, there really are only 2 ways they do it. The first is breaches. Remember earlier when I was talking about how bugs can call in reinforcements? Well, a light bug calls in more bugs. That is called a bug breach. This bug breach will continue to spawn heavier and heavier bugs, so get on top of these quickly. The other bugs spawn in from nests. nests range in sizes from light all the way up to mega nests. Light nests typically contain 1 to 3 bug holes. Medium nests typically contain 4 to roughly 5 holes. Medium can have anywhere from 3 to 10 holes, and mega nests can have anywhere from 11 to 14 bug holes. Now, don't be fooled. Not all bug holes are the same. No, sir. Your typical bug hole is small or medium sized. These are the ones you'll see around small and medium bug nests. However, when you get to heavy and mega nests, you'll occasionally get a Bile Titan bug hole. Now, to close any bug hole is simple. Apply explosive damage. The bigger the hole, the more damage you'll need. When you've finished closing the bug hole, it's always a good idea to make a quick loop around the nest to grab any samples. Speaking of samples, in light through heavy nests, you'll get common and rare samples. However, in mega nests, you can acquire a mutated egg, which gives you bonus samples when you extract with it. Alright, now that you're almost a bug expert, let's talk about how to gear up before you hit the ground. I've put together these 3 different loadouts, each one designed around a different role in your squad. Use these as baselines and adjust them to your playstyle. First up, we have the Bug Burner. This is your fire-focused loadout. If you've been paying any attention, you'll remember I said fire is the answer for most of the bugs on our list. This whole loadout is built around that. For armor, we are going with our medium armor, the Dust Devil Scorpion suit. This protects you from your own fire, as well as gas and acid bile type bugs. If you need more fire protection, you can also use the Salamander, but you will lose movement speed. For the primary, I prefer the AR2 Coyote. This is a hard-hitting assault rifle that adds in a burning effect. You could also try the Breaker Incendiary, but this will require more kiting and movement. For the secondary, I use the Senator with high stopping power for anything that gets a little too close. For the throwable, I prefer the G142 Pyrotech for this build, as it lights just about everything on fire around it. However, if you don't have this, a thermite is always the next best thing. For stratagems, of course you can't have a fire build without a flamethrower. If you have the Entrenched Division pack, I would recommend the Cremator, as it has a longer reach and more juice. If not, a flamethrower is the second best. For additional flame support, we are bringing in our Hot Dog to increase the heat on this barbecue. For large areas of terminids, I like to use the Orbital Napalm Barrage, as it is just satisfying. And the last stratagem, this is a flex spot. However, if I'm going to be going in alone, I like to use one of the walkers. This build is perfect for high density swarms, as if you're feeling overwhelmed, just put the fire directly on the ground and kite the bugs through it. Next up, we have the Heavy Handler. Every squad needs at least one diver that is able to deal with heavy bugs, and that's what this loadout's for. For the armor, we're going with the Demolition Specialist from the Democratic Detonation pack, as this has the Engineering Kit passive, which reduces the recoil when we're crouching or prone, and increases our throwables by 2. For the primary, we're using the Rupture Sniper Rifle, as this provides a precision explosive shot from a distance, which is great for closing bug holes. And for the secondary, we're going with our P92 Warrant. This handles all airborne and ground bugs quickly. And for throwables, we're going with the Giga Grenade. If you don't have that, then a trusty thermite will do. Now, this is where the loadout really comes together. The support weapon will actually be our primary weapon. With the engineering passive, we can take benefit of reduced recoil and the high rate of fire of the Stalwart. So we get a large ammo capacity, rapid fire rates, and no recoil. Here's another quick tip. If you hold the reload button on your weapon, it will display your gun menu, where you can change your fire rate or interact with any of the attachments, like the flashlight. As you can see, we are using the orbital laser, as this focuses on heavy bugs, which allows us to walk in with our next stratagem, the walker, and start closing bug holes. And last but not least, you can't have a heavy destroyer without a 500 kg bomb. This loadout is your squad's insurance policy, that when a Bile Titan or a Dragonroach shows up, everyone can look to you to be the hero. And last but not least, the anchor. If you're not sure what your squad needs, or you're playing with randoms, this build has it covered. For the armor, we're going back to our Dust Devil's Scorpion suit. As well as protecting you from fire, this will also protect you from gas, acid, and electrical damage, so you have that added protection while still providing mobility. For the primary, we're going with our trusted Liberator Penetrator. This will provide adequate stopping power, high rate of fire, and accuracy for any given situation. For the secondary, we are keeping the warrant for the guidance system. And the throwable, we're using our tried and true thermite. For the stratagems, I like the supply pack for the endless ammo and stims. A quasar cannon for clearing heavies and objectives from a distance, as well as endless ammunition. We're adding a sentry for passive area denial while you're repositioning, or if you ever just need a moment of peace. And if we're diving in alone, a walker allows you to clear bug nests with ease. The squad anchor isn't flashy, but on a disorganized team, this build gets the mission done. So, whether you're dropping in solo or locking in with a full squad, the bug burner handles your dense swarms, the heavy handler keeps the big threats down, and the squad anchor holds everything together. These loadouts have an answer for every terminid we've covered today. If you haven't already, you're 20 minutes in. Do me a favor and drop a like and a sub. I've got more Helldivers guides coming your way. And until next time, keep spreading democracy.